Here are some of the best African leaders to ever grace Africa since the 20th century. If all African leaders emulated them, then Africa won't find itself being ranked in the bottom 10 countries of anything ranging from poverty levels, most corrupt countries, lowest GDPs, and other vices commonly associated with the third world countries. There is a reason why most of the leaders you will find in this list end up being assassinated or overthrown by we all know who.
We are the CIA.
But that is a story for another day. Amilcar Cabral was born in September 1924 in Bafada, Guinea-Bissau. He led the guerrilla warfare against the Portuguese that ensured the independence of Cape Verde and Guinea-Bissau. Amilcar Cabral also gained respect from revolutionaries like Fidel Castro. Unfortunately, he was assassinated on January 1973 just before he could witness his country gain independence 8 months later. Chris Hani was head of the armed wing of ANC known as Umkhonto weSizwe that fought the apartheid regime of South Africa. Born in 1942, Hani was such an influential figure in the fight who also later became the head of the South Africa Communist Party. Together with other legends like Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela, he led the black South Africans to freedom. Though I'm not sure where they are headed to now. Seems they just took one step forward and 2 more steps back. If you know, you know. But I think on that matter we will have to consider the South Africans' opinions. Maybe that way they will explain to the rest of Africa how their favorite candidate Malema ended being number 4 in the just concluded elections.
Mind your business.
Back to Chris Hani. This legend was also assassinated by an anti-communist. I wonder what he would think of South Africa today. There is a reason why Botswana is a great country today, both economically and politically. There is a reason why it is not inflicted by the resource curse that is seen in resource-rich countries all over Africa like DRC, Nigeria, and many others. Their diamonds are being used to develop the country, and don't be shocked to see Botswana being the economic powerhouse of Africa in the years to come. It can all be traced to this guy. He is an example of what African leaders should aspire to be. Born in July of 1921, he had the privilege of being from the royal family of Bechuanaland. This position is part of the reason he became the first president of Botswana, a position his son later had the privilege to enjoy. Talk of dynasties. At first I was skeptic of Seretse Khama because while studying abroad in the United Kingdom he married an English woman named Ruth Williams.
You're a traitor.
You are a fool.
But then it turned out he was a patriot all along.
Well done! Well done!
You can't doubt this guy's patriotism to the African people. Thomas Noel Sankara was born in December 1949 and came to power after a coup which was orchestrated while he was in prison and became president at just 33. He literally renamed the country Burkina Faso, meaning the land of incorruptible. The previous name of Upper Volta being from the colonial period. Sankara was anti-imperialist, and that is why he is among my favorite African leaders. He launched some reforms that would make Burkina Bay people economically independent, which of course made some people unhappy and led to his assassination. Seems this name Julius belongs only to leaders. Julius Malema, Julius Nyerere, Julius Caesar. But let's focus on Tanzania's Julius for today. He was born in 1922 and he actively fought for Tanzania's independence. He later became the president of both Tanganyika and Zanzibar, now collectively known as Tanzania. Apart from being a great leader, the main reason he appears on my list as one of Africa's best leaders is because he literally stepped down as a president. Most African leaders have been known to never stepping down willingly from the highest office of the country. I could literally name a dozen of African presidents who would cling to that seat until death did them part.
Until death do us part.
And it is not like they know what they are doing in that office anyway. Remember this guy? Many people believe he is a reincarnation of Thomas Sankara. Here are some of the similarities. They are everything you wish on a leader leading your country. Especially if that country is in Africa. The bad thing is we know how the African enemies deal with great African leaders. I guess all we can do is pray for the young captain and hope all will be well. This one is by far one of the best African leaders in the continent. Something worth mentioning is that he led the first African country to independence. Kwame Nkrumah was born in September 1909 in Ghana. He was an activist who fought for Ghana's independence and later became its first leader. Too bad some jealous opposition deposed off him before he could transform Ghana according to his great vision. The opposition riled up its citizens to think they had just overthrown a dictator. I guess a guy who once said no man can govern another human being successfully was never wrong. Other human beings will always find ways to blame their current ruling leader for one thing or another. The West and the opposition knew this of human nature and exploited it. Too bad Kwame was championing for the unity of Africa under one flag, and I am confident his dream will be realized one day. My only consolation is that at least he was not murdered. At least that way he could still write great books like The Neocolonialism, among others, which serve as an inspiration to this day. Comment down below, who else do you consider the true leaders of Africa? I am certain I left out a ton of them.